Hi there. Welcome to week 7. So I've got a question for you. Are you happy? No, seriously, are you happy? What makes you happy? How do you define happiness? Happiness is such a weird word. Did you know that out of most of the countries in the world, Americans are the least happy? It's true. It's because we basically base a lot of our happiness on things that we can collect. We look to things, purchases, consumerism, in order to bring happiness. We also look for happiness within competition, but competition rarely brings happiness unless, of course, you have won. If you lose, you're probably not going to be very happy. Norway actually is a country that has rated one of the highest happiest countries in the world, and they're happy because they do not base their ideas or concepts on happiness as a result of things or goals that will bring prestige and that kind of stuff, but on living. They base it on experience, day-to-day experience. So there's almost, if you will, a little bit more of a realistic expectation on what can bring sustainable happiness in different countries than in our own. Is that a problem? Does our cultural understandings of the American dream versus our understanding of happiness actually cause a problem for us being happy? And that's what you're going to be experiencing this week. This week we have 2 major items due besides the readings. One is one discussion question in which you tell me your definition of happiness. I want you to support that definition of happiness. Avoid things like, oh, happiness is individual for everybody. That's not a very good definition. I want you to give me a concrete definition. What constitutes happiness for you? Is it prestige? Is it money? Is it attaining goals? Is it family? Is it living day-to-day life? What are the connections between your expectations in life and happiness? Make this concrete, okay? Now, the second thing is, of course, we have a paper due this week. It's a short paper, but it's going to be a cool paper, okay? I want you to interview 2 different people, and I want you to ask them a series of questions, the exact same questions, on how they define happiness, if happiness has stayed the same, how their definition of happiness has stayed the same in their life, why they make that definition, and so on and so forth. So you're going to conduct 2 interviews. Not only do I want you to conduct those interviews, I want you to record those interviews. Then I want you to transpose those interviews into a transcript on a piece of paper. You need the transcript. It's actually a requirement. Now, these don't have to be long interviews, but they have to be asking the exact same question between 2 people. You might want to consider finding some varieties within your interview. For example, you might want to interview a very young person, and then you might want to turn around and interview an old person. Or you might want to interview a girl and compare her answers to that of a guy, and so on and so forth. After you've done the interview and you have the transcripts, I want you to analyze the interview. Where are these people's idea of happiness the same? Where do they differ? Why do they differ? Make sure to spend some time and really analyze the answers they gave you. Does their answers to what makes them happy contingent on their age, on their gender, on their circumstance, their economic place in society and status? Did you guys see my dog? It's my dog over there making all sorts of noise. Anyways, I want you to analyze it. Don't forget that this needs to be in good, proper essay form. So you'll want to have the introduction. Your paper will deal with the 2 interviews in the body of the paper, and then a good conclusion. You'll want to cite any information, including your textbook, because your textbook is going to give you some ideas on happiness, and you might want to use that as part of your research. And then also you'll want to say in your works cited page specifically who you interviewed, when you interviewed, their name, and so on and so forth. So that information is provided. And that's it. I hope you enjoy it. I know it may seem a little daunting, but actually I've gotten feedback that this is probably one of the coolest projects I ask people to do in this class. So try to enjoy it, and I will see you on the boards. Okay, thanks a lot for stopping by. Bye.